Hi and welcome everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Fresh Jazzy Sounds, where I will be needle dropping 7 new jazzy jams and 1 test pressing. Again, I'm happy to share with you a new test pressing, this time by Foat and Gigi Masin. It's a special one to look out for. But first, let's needle drop the first record. And the first album is by Nostalgia 77, The Loneliest Flower in the Village. And I must say, I had to deep dig to remember the name Nostalgia 77. I don't have any previous albums from them. It is not them, it is he. It's Benedict Lumpkin, who is really the bass of Nostalgia 77. He started early 2000s with more future jazz, new jazz, that broken beats that was more danceable in the beginning of the 2000s. What I read, because there are very nice liner notes on the back of the cover, it explains that the music he's now making is built on the live performances he did and the artists that are playing with him. So you can hear that in the music. It is much more jazzy, and you really get a jazz band. They interact very well. You can hear they have played a lot together because the interaction, it is smooth. There are certain things that you immediately recognize when a band has been playing along together. The music itself, it is self-written material and some covers. I must say, it is very well done. And this album, if you like that is it just end of the 60s, more muddled jazz, then you will really like this one, because the way it is recorded, it really grabs back to that time. Really fun at the moment is there are many soundtracks to movies that never existed. Fictional soundtracks that really grab you and that are made or are in a style that would fit a movie. A soundtrack to a movie, and a great example is L'Obsession by Fontaine. The backside already shows it also a little bit. It is set up almost like a library album. It's mixing that feel of a library album with a soundtrack. And I think the mood of the cover, the picture, really sets it. Fontaine is Italian, but he lives in Paris. I think it's not his real name, he has taken a French name. And the music really moves between the two. I would say it is closer to an Italian library album, or maybe a dark French movie from the 60s. It is, yeah, what I said before, it's moving. You cannot say it's more to the one or the other. It's really mixing both of them beautiful. It's a short album, but it's very enjoyable. And if you like this kind of music, check this album out. It's his debut album. He produced it, he has written it, and he plays all the instruments. Really an album to check out. I'm very happy I can share with you the new album by Foat. It's a test pressing of his newest album. It's freshly released after his previous album Off Piste, where he's playing together with Art Thiemann, which is a more logical duo as they played a lot together. Here he's playing again together, but this time with Gigi Masin. People who don't know Gigi Masin, he's from Venice, Italy. He plays music mostly ambient, maybe going a little bit in the classical style, minimalistic, but it has that warmth, that South European, Mediterranean feel, really. Hot weather, and this kind of music, a cocktail, it fits the evening perfectly. Now you put it together with Foat, you get something magical. I heard about this album, or Greg informed me about this album, I think almost a year ago, because it has taken some time to produce it and make it and mix it. That has to do with the unfortunate passing of the wife of Gigi Masin. The music, it is special, because Greg Foat, you know him from his jazz style, but you know he's like a chameleon, he can adapt, and that is what he is doing here. Because it's very difficult to pick up which part is Gigi playing and which part is Greg playing, because it almost feels like a Greg Foat tribute to Gigi Masin, and Gigi Masin just put in the touches to make it his own music, and Greg Foat following it. But also don't forget the other artists, because it is a star cast. If you know Greg Foat, his best drummer he can get is Moses Boyd. He's playing on this album. And the bassist, he's found a new bassist close by, Tom Herbert, electric bass. And that together you get that ambient feel, but you pull it into the jazzy side. And that, I would say, this must be the summer album of 2023, because it will put you in the right mood. The only thing you need is a little bit of sunny weather. Greg Foat album will be released halfway June on Strut Records. I believe the official date will be the 16th of June. Next album, Feed LA. I don't know if LA is hungry, but this band is called Feed LA. It's a debut album. It's also the title of the album, Feed LA. It's a special album. It's going back to the jazz funk of the 70s, but that jazz funk where there's horns, where they play the lead role, not just keys or Fender Rhodes. It is really that special time, 77, 78, if I had to put a date on it. But of course, this is fresh. This is 2023. It has been released just a few weeks ago. I got this album from Michael Treetrop Vos himself. He sent it to me. I have to thank him. Thank you, Michael, for this. You know I appreciate it. The band, you can hear they've been playing a lot. This is not a new band. These are cool cats who know how to play. Backside shows the people playing. So you have the electric bass, the drums, the trumpet, and I'm missing one person. And that is the keyboards by Osor Bayraktar. They're from Germany, Berlin, I believe. The label it's released on is Wax Thematic from the US. If you like jazz funk, check this one out. When you hear the trumpet blowing, what an amazing sound the trumpet can make. It's really an instrument I have missed in recent times. With LA Feed, the trumpet is back, but also another great trumpet player of recent times is Malcolm Strachan with Point of No Return. His second album, he's Scottish. He plays in the band Haggis Horns, which is, of course, it already says it in the name, you get a lot of horns. So besides the trumpet, you get a trombone, a tenor sax, which are all part of the Haggis horns, piano, the bass. But it is Malcolm really taking the foreground on this one. It floats over the music and you get that jazz vibe that really mixes Latin rhythms, and you get that sunny summer vibes, sunny vibes. It is a groove that just plays on, and it is a beautiful mix to summertime. If you like horns and you have never heard of Malcolm Strachan, check it also out. I know I'm saying it a lot, but a lot of these jazzy albums, they sound terrific, but I think not a lot of people know about them. is amazing how much groovy jazzy music is being released lately. I'm discovering so many new bands, it's ridiculous, and all releasing their music on vinyl. It's also true for this album, released by BMM Records. It's Brothers Nylon with Lo-Fi Sauce. The album is released in France, but the Brothers Nylon are from Long Island, New York. I think that's part of the name. They are twins, twin brothers, and I think it stands for New York, Long Island, but I'm just guessing. If you look at the cover, you're expecting some kind of instrumental hip-hop, beat makers. Maybe they've started this way because this is the first album I hear from them, the first album I know from them, but they've been making a lot of music. But it isn't instrumental hip-hop. I think the Lo-Fi Sauce translates that a little bit. They use analog instruments, analog production. You can hear that it really has that 70s warm vibe, and it must be the way they produce the music. And it sounds beautiful. It has a beautiful groove, really grabs back to the 70s. There's a certain warmth, and it's a very enjoyable album. And I really hope this music puts you in a positive vibe and lets you forget about the crazy times we're living in. Adding a little bit to that mix is New Genea with Bar Mediterraneo, jazz funk where they added, as they are two Italians, a little bit of Italian disco to the music, and it really puts you in that summer vibe where you're on the beach, close to the sea, having a cocktail in your hand and just relaxing and enjoying the time we're having.